I'm Sarah.
And I'm Brandon.
And this is Fish or Price Ranch.
There you go. Keep going.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Sarah with Fish or Price Ranch. First off, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So, I know the videos haven't been as exciting lately. It's been kind of a weird lull because it's so hot. It's really hard to get projects done. But the next week we have unusually low temperatures for July. So we're in the low 80s to upper 70s for like a week or so. So we were taking advantage of that for sure. Also, having the extreme weather that we've been having has started showing us kind of what's going to happen and how the animals are handling it. So let me show you guys. It is a disaster after 10 inches of rain. So please ignore how bad my rabbit barn looks, but this is what it looks like. Everything is full of water. All the manure is soaked and it's mucky and gross underneath. The rabbits are doing pretty good. Most of them stayed pretty dry, but over here, and I have so many that I'm growing out that I need to start processing, so that's probably going to also be on the agenda this week. But the cover that we put up wasn't waterproof, it was just to give them shade. Well, then that made everything a horrible mucky mess. And I lost all my rabbit feed again, even though we got a different lid with a lock, and it's still, I lost all this. It's like 6 bags of feed. So anyway, and then we don't have cover over the grow out bucks, this cage, and that cage. These guys stayed perfectly dry. These guys only got just a little bit wet. They weren't bad. But this cage, unfortunately, got literally soaked. And because it was built so well, it actually held like 3 inches of water in the house. But the problem was the rabbits didn't want to be out here because they were getting rained on. And so they were trying to hide in the house, but then they were soaked. So they were literally swimming. And so basically we had to move some rabbits around and got them moved in over here so they could dry out. So I was in town, had to run some errands, but when I came back, Brandon had already gotten this portion done. So we're basically, you know, he did this section to there, and then he overlapped and did that section. So now he's doing one more again to give me all this space underneath roof. And we have roofing metal right there that we traded some goats for. And so we're gonna slat this whole side, and then we're going to put metal roof across the entire thing. And then it's going to slat this side just because in the afternoon that sun comes in. You can see the sun is, well, it's still early in the day. Sun's right there, but it comes down over here. So then all that sun comes right in. Anyway, and then what we're going to do is that cage, because we only went so far, that cage is going to move to right next to this one. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So it'll go right here, and it'll face the same way it is now. The door is right there on the front, so basically I'll walk into the cage this way. This little cage that got soaking wet, I'm going to get it deep cleaned, and then it's going to move to right here next to this cage, facing that way. And then this cage will get moved to this section here. I'm not sure which way we're going to face it, probably in. And then we're going to build one big grow out cage that'll go right here for my grow out does, because right now I don't have any space for all my grow outs. They're still living with their mothers. So basically that's the idea. Then we're going to use that fencing there to fence around the entire perimeter. And we're going to reseed this whole thing. We've got a bunch of seed, but we're going to do more legumes for the rabbits, like dandelions, plantains, some alfalfa, and then some other grasses. And then, of course, they get any trees I trim up, I can just drop them onto the ground. And we'll put grow outs out here eventually. But I want to get it fenced because we had too many getting out before. Okay, and then the other news is about Hershey. She has fully recovered from the botfly larva, which is great. But I did palpate her because she did get out and disappeared for 4 days and wound up in the buck pen. She is pregnant. And so she's due, I don't know when, but I'm thinking within 2 weeks or less. So I need to get her situated because I think she can go as early as within a week. It just depends on when she got bred, and we don't really know. So anyway, I'm gonna get this one cage that got all wet. We're gonna get it cleaned out, deep cleaned, because it already has a built-in nest box, and that one's gonna be the best one for her. So we'll get her situated in that by herself, fill it full of hay, that way she can do what she needs to, and she could just be prepared for when she actually does go into labor. And then we're just going to have to focus on, we have great weather for the next week. It'd be nice if she actually went like tomorrow. It'd give the babies time to get old enough where they wouldn't need all the hair in the nest, and they wouldn't get overheated. But we're just going to have to do with whatever happens. So hopefully things will work out there. Maybe we can figure out who the dad is by what colors the babies are. We'll see, because she was in a cage with 5 boys, so luckily they're homegrown, so I know the parents and grandparents and all that, so we can possibly figure out who the dad is by the colors of the babies, so fingers are crossed there. But anyway, we'll get this going and we'll show you guys what it looks like in the end. Alright, so there's that. We are about ready to put metal on. I've been slowly working on cleaning the barn. Getting there. It's looking a lot better. Still have to go all the way down, and then I'm probably going to just clean over there once we get the cages moved. We got some little guineas here, and they're going to get moved as well. But starting to look better in here. Metal roof is going up. Also put on these couple slats, and then we're going to plant some vines along here, and they'll grow up and help give natural shade. Alright, we are back in the rabbit barn this morning. Still a mess, but we're getting there. We got this cage moved up on blocks, so it'll be a little easier to clean underneath now. We are building an 8-foot long cage for my grow out does, so we don't have them all cramped up with their mamas. Got that cage moved, that cage, that one. So I got to rake all this manure up. We're still going to move this cage here to right here in this section. Once we get this cage built, I can move a bunch of my grow out does into it, which will empty cages, and then I can get this doe up into a cage. And then, like I said before, once we get, the fencing all the way around, get the pasture back up and growing, we'll be able to put rabbits on the ground again, and they'll have this cover, and we can still keep the breeders up in the hutches. So it's where we're looking at right now. I got the water moved over here. We think it's going to drip from right there, which is fine because there's no cage there. So I'll catch water when it rains, and then I just fill up my jugs. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. We're going to get this cage built. Alright, we've been working on finishing up this cage. It's an 8-foot by 3-foot, nice big grow out cage. Got all that space all the way over there. So we're just putting the doors on. This one's already on. And then we'll eventually, like we did these with the little lattice, we'll get a piece that we can put in here as well. But for now, they'll just be on the wire, and we'll put a few boards in there for them to lay on.
It does it regardless. Okay.
Okay, got all the doelings moved. They're all checking it out. We've got quite a few that are almost ready for processing, so they'll slowly dwindle. We won't have this many in a cage, but they all have plenty of space to run around. We've got our lock here. There we go. It's hard to do it with my left hand. Here we are. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed our rebuild on the rabbit area. We'll see you soon.